Now, Bobbi Althoff, she pissed off Offset in a terrible interview that wasn't even supposed to air. Now, we got Pauly Shore, who wants to be Richard Simmons in a biopic so badly that even Richard Simmons himself, well, he asked him to back off and let him enjoy his privacy. Yikes. Now, Selena Gomez, she keeps going viral because a new generation is discovering her, and, well, they're reacting to what they call her heavies. Now, King of Queens star Kevin James, well, he's gone viral as a brand new meme. The Office is getting a reboot, and there's a new TV show known as The Golden Bachelor, and, well, it's a new show you need to know about. To me, it looks like a whole lot of grilled cheese, but still, people are having a laugh about the show. I guess some are watching it, but still, there's a lot of elderly people doing elderly things. Not really. It's The Bachelor for senior citizens. Anyways, guys, my name's Michael McCrudden. If you don't know me, well, I've been doing this show for about 10 years now, and I'll probably be doing it forever. So I'll be the Golden Bachelor of the new genre. Now, if you aren't following us on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Snapchat, TikTok, we're everywhere. Be sure to do so. Now let's get into the news. Now, our top news story today, it's all about Bobbi Althoff and rapper Offset and the interview that they filmed together quite some time ago. Well, it's finally dropped, or at least a teaser trailer. And let me tell you, this thing, it's awkward as hell.
Your teeth are like the same color as your bones. Did you know that?
My bones?
Not yours. Bones in general. I saw that on a TikTok.
You need to get the off TikTok.
Sorry, that's my job.
You're kind of like, you've talked about TikTok like 12 times on this.
It's how I make my money.
Excuses are for the incompetent.
Now that right there is just the tip of the iceberg because this is a teaser clip, and I think this is quickly going to become Bobbi's most awkward interview yet.
I don't want to make you look bad.
They had to show me who Bobbi was. I thought they were talking about Bobby Boucher.
Never heard of Offset in
The
my
water?
life.
Yes, you have.
I have not. I Googled
Damn.
you on the way here, and I read something about you.
I had to go on TikTok. I couldn't even Google you.
Thank you.
I had to go TikTok search. I couldn't Google you. Google's not there yet. You're not there yet. But you'll be there. But you're on TikTok.
Now, in this interview, it's clear to everyone that neither Bobbi nor Offset knew who one or the other was. I mean, Bobbi threw some shade at Offset, to which he's like, girl, I couldn't even Google you. You ain't even there yet. Which is true about being like online famous. You land on famous birthdays first. Then you land on maybe a few Google searches. You got to pay for some press these days. It is about rising up through the ranks. And it's typically those people that aren't, being featured on Google. That's when the before they're famous videos take off. Just saying. No. Anyway, this interview, it was likely not even supposed to air. Now, Bobbi and Offset, they had actually been sitting down and filmed this not long after she had done her interview with Drake and Tyga. So this was going to be another banger coming out when she was at the top. But for some reason, this video, it disappeared. People were wondering what the hell happened. And here it's coming as, Bobbi's kind of fallen off. Now, just a little recap of what happened there. Well, Bobbi, she was facing so much backlash. I mean, she got unfollowed by Drizzy Drake. People suspected the two had hooked up and she was getting divorced. Then Drake, he had her interview taken down. This thing had like 10 million views and he just Thanosed it off of the internet. Now, we never really got any explanation besides the fact that Bobbi attended a Drake concert and she posted something that Drizzy didn't like. Take a look at this. You'll remember it. Apparently that rubbed Drake the wrong way. Anyway, this new interview with Offset, she definitely rubs him the wrong way right from the start. But still, I gotta say, kudos to Bobbi for keeping it going. I mean, this girl, she's been canceled, she's been called an industry plant, and, she's already on her comeback tour. And she's only really been in the spotlight for a total of 8 weeks. The girl's doing big things. I'm a fan of her work. Speaking of women who have a lot of fans, well, Selena Gomez is impressing a brand new generation. Now, Selena, we all know she's been on TV since she was in Barney, but these days she's kind of doing a comeback of her own. She was laying low. She had some health issues. I believe it was lupus, but guys are starting to wonder that if she had something else because the lumps on her are out of control. In my opinion, she's kind of like the Penelope Cruz or Selma Hayek for a new generation. sensation. I know she's got a new makeup line or skincare routine, and this thing's selling like hotcakes. She went from a net worth of $100 million to close to $1 billion in just 1 year. Anyways, guys are taking a second look at her. They're asking Justin Bieber, what were you thinking letting go of her? She looks so good. They love her heavies. That's the new word on the street when they're talking about, well, you know. All right, moving on to our next story. We're talking about Pauly Shore. Now, most of you won't even know who he is, but back in the early 90s, well, Pauly Shore was one of the biggest movie stars in the world. There was Encino Man, there was Biodome, Son-in-Law. I had my family take me to that. And, the guy was like the biggest cool guy in show business. He was an MTV host. He had catchphrases. People wanted their hair to be like his. He was everywhere. But then by 2003, well, he was already making films titled Pauly Shore is Dead. Now here he would pull pranks on Hollywood and get reactions from people claiming that he was in fact dead. In a strange segue, well, there's another star known as Richard Simmons. And he was a real life meme as well. He was around in the 80s and the 90s, dancing everywhere, going on all the talk shows, a real character. He lived a life of fitness. And I believe Al Bundy made a lot of fun of him because he was always hanging out with overweight women, cheering them on to lose some weight, but he never really lost that much weight himself. Anyway, Richard Simmons is now 75 years old, and his day in the spotlight has come to an end. In an ironic twist, Pauly Shore, he was told by fans online that he looks a whole lot like Richard Simmons. So Pauly Shore is dead set on making a biopic movie. Now, apparently, he's reached out to Richard Simmons and the meeting didn't go the way he had hoped. So Pauly went and posted this to Facebook, and I found it a little disturbing. Take a look. Since many people always told me I look like Richard Simmons, I started this series on all my social media platforms called Sweatin' with the Wise, honoring Richard. Then someone made their own meme about me playing Richard in a biopic. Now, the post I did, it was me responding to all that love from you guys. So I reached out to Richard and his representatives, said that Richard loves me and my mom. He has known us both for decades, but Richard is politely passing. He said Richard at this time wants to remain private, which we all need to respect. So that right there, right? That should be the end of it. But it's not. Pauly Shore continued, Richard, we all miss you, love you very much, and want nothing but the best for you. You are in all our hearts. You can always reach out to me if you change your mind. I'm just a phone call away. And since today is Yom Kippur, I'd love to stop by, bring you some yummy, warm matzo ball soup, and sit at the head of your bed and gaze into your eyes. Wait a minute. Here's an idea. Why don't we hit up Dexter Fletcher, the dude who did an amazing job directing Rocketman, the Elton John story? Dexter, we could do a test tape to present to Richard and his reps for his blessing. What do you think? You guys? I mean, the movie poster has already been made. Hit up Dexter, dudes. So if you didn't catch that, Richard Simmons politely asked him to stop. But Pauly Shore, not to be deterred, well, he's now pleading with the Elton John biopic director, Dexter Fletcher, to produce a 10-minute presentation to change Richard Simmons' mind. Now, it all seems kind of cringe and desperate, but Pauly Shore, well, he's been waiting for his big comeback for 20 plus years. So, if this ain't it, I think the dude's going to lose it. So let's just let him make him the movie. You know what I mean? Does he need Richard Simmons' permission? Probably. I don't know. Now, there's a new meme going around, and this one's all about, what's his name? Kevin James. Now, me and my wife actually just watched King of Queens the other night, just for some nostalgia purposes. But all of a sudden, a bunch of stock photos from the show of Kevin James, they're becoming memes online. Like the smile a guy gives you when someone says, you cooked that? The way like a new fit feels, thinking you lost weight. Just a lot of memes about the way this guy looks in photos. I find it kind of hilarious, but I bet he's upset about it. I'm sure the guy's battled weight issues his whole life, and it's got to be something to do with his weight that make these funny, right? Anyway, let's move on. Now, in other news, The Office, it's getting a reboot with the U.S. version's original creator, Greg Daniels. He'll be working on the project. Now, what character from the original U.S. version do you think will be cast in this reboot? Now, I'd say it's a big win for Scranton, Ohio, but there's no news on if this will feature any members from the original cast. Now, I think Steve Carell and John Krasinski, well, they've moved on to bigger and better things. But perhaps Jenna Fisher, Angles Kinsley, Leslie David Barker, Creed Bratton, or some of the others will return. What do you guys want to see on this new version of The Office? Are they going to be working at a TikTok office? Are they all going to be on social media? Are they going to be working at a box factory? Who knows? You let me know in the comments down below. And our final news story, it's about a TV show known as the Golden Bachelor series, which kicked off on September 28th on ABC.
Hi, I'm Peggy. I'm 69 years old.
I'm Leslie. I'm 64.
I'm Maria. I'm Susan.
I'm Joan. I'm Sylvia.
Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Faith.
I'm Sandra. I'm 75 years old.
Why are you ready to find love now?
I've been ready for a long time.
No matter how hard I try.
People have a mental picture of what a 73-year-old person is and what they look like, which is not me.
There's no turning back.
It's a good time for us to realize in these golden years that we have a lot of life to live.
I am 66 and my heart is wide open.
Like I said in the intro, a lot of grilled cheese comes to mind, but these are some good-looking grandmas. Now, the women of the show, they range from the age of 60 to 75, and the main bachelor, his name is Gary Turner, and he does look like a stud. He's a good-looking old guy. I mean, my dad was just here. He's 73, and he looks like a raisin. This guy looks like an Oscar statue. Seriously. Anyway, there's a whole flock of ladies competing for love. The guy used to work in the restaurant business. He lives out in Indiana. He's done mighty well for himself, and he's just a hopeless romantic. It's a new spin for ABC trying, they're basically like, you know who watches The Bachelor? Old people. So let's just give them more of that. But still, I like to see new developments, new shows popping up here and there, and I bet you this one will do all right. Don't you think? I mean, there can't be one girl at the party who drinks too much and like causes a fight. These women are 60 to 75. They should know better, right? Right? I don't know. I'd like to see some old ladies scrap it out. All right, guys, that concludes this episode of Famous News. Let me know what your favorite news story of the bunch were, and I'll see you guys in another video.